No Man's Sky released on August 9th, 2016, and as of this month, the game is 8 years old. I remember back in 2013 during the VGX Awards, we got our first look at this incredibly ambitious game from independent studio Hello Games, which was led by founder and studio head Sean Murray. From one of the most hyped video games of the PS4 generation to disastrous launch plagued by failed promises and unmet expectations to one of the greatest redemption stories in the history of gaming, No Man's Sky has traversed a turbulent path, and after years of dedication and compassion, has the game truly transformed into the cosmic adventure it promised back in 2013. Today we embark on an interstellar journey through the cosmos and explore the insane journey of No Man's Sky's past to its current state and determine whether it has truly become what the team at Hello Games initially imagined. When I think back to the reveal and marketing for No Man's Sky, I remember being awestruck. A game with a near infinite universe with 18 quintillion planets, all procedurally generated, built on the 4 core pillars: exploration, survival, combat, and trading. This reveal trailer was incredibly effective. It brought Hello Games to the forefront of the gaming industry due to how hype and ambitious this project was. After the reveal, Hello Games partnered with Sony, who offered to help with the cost of development. However, Hello Games only requested help with promotion and publishing. Cut to E3 2014. During the PlayStation E3 conference, Hello Games showed off a new trailer for No Man's Sky where they announced the release date of June 2016, releasing on the PlayStation 4 and PC and skipping the Xbox One. This is when the hype for No Man's Sky went mainstream. After the E3 conference, I was sure that this game would be groundbreaking. There was no way No Man's Sky could flop. We finally have a new developer of the likes of CDPR and Rockstar Games. Well, 2016 rolled around, and a month before the official release date of June, Hello Games and Sony announced that No Man's Sky would be delayed until August of 2016. According to Sean Murray, he said, and I quote, "Some key moments needed extra polish to bring them up to our standards." June then rolled around, and rather than show off the game again at E3, Sean and the team at Hello Games opted out of the E3 Expo to spend more time polishing the game, stating that we got one shot to make this game and we can't mess it up. Well, Sean, do I have some pretty bad news for you. Now, a month later, in July of 2016, it was announced that No Man's Sky had officially gone gold and was set for the release of August 9th, 2016. I remember seeing the tweet announcing that the game went gold. I don't know if you guys have seen this photo, but it looks really wholesome. Like, you could see that this really is a group of individuals who are passionate about the game and were probably really excited about it releasing. But cut to about 2 weeks prior to launch, this is where things started to get sour for No Man's Sky. A Reddit user purchased a leaked copy of the game for the PlayStation 4 version on eBay, and they started posting videos and images of the game. Let's just say the floodgates definitely opened. But not only did one person have the game, other users started to pop up claiming that they also had copies. The pre-launch sentiment for No Man's Sky was overwhelmingly positive until this leaked gameplay started to circulate. Many users on PS4 claimed frequent crashes and performance issues, some claiming that the length of the game was way shorter than what Hello Games made it out to be. I remember posting a tweet saying it takes just as long to get to the center of the universe in No Man's Sky as it does to find No Man's Sky gameplay on Twitch. Like, we're talking end-game spoilers leaked. Basically everything escalated so quickly. It even got to the point where Sean Murray asked people to wait for the game to release and to avoid spoilers. In a statement, he said, "We've spent years filling No Man's Sky with surprises. You've spent years waiting. Please don't spoil yourself." The state of the game before launch wasn't good at all. Like, things were looking very doom and gloom. The way I coped was that the game hadn't released yet. Surely there would be a day one patch to sort out the main performance issues, the crashing issues, and all of the main problems. Surely that's gonna fix everything, right? Come on, guys. It's gonna happen, right? Well, cut to a few days before No Man's Sky launched on August 5th, many retailers broke the street date, and even more gameplay and live streams started flooding on the internet. Press websites like Kotaku straight up streamed the game as soon as they got their copy. Sony inevitably had to step in and start issuing takedown notices, and even Sony was going on with the same copium that I had, that the pre-launch date of the game wasn't a proper representation of the game on day one, as Hello Games was set to release a day one patch. And now comes the day that I had been waiting 3 years for, and that is the official launch of No Man's Sky. I booted up my PS4, I downloaded the game with the day one patch, which Hello Games had been working on since the game went gold, mainly fixing procedural generated aspects and other exploits that users from the pre-launch were doing. Let's just say when I booted up the game for the first time, my excitement and anticipation was immediately shut down. I remember being gutted at how bad the experience was on PS4, from the bad performance issues, crashes, and even being stranded on a planet due to a pre-order bonus. But my hopium didn't stop there. I was determined to get a positive experience with No Man's Sky, so I did what every PC gamer does and purchased the game a second time, this time on my PC. Well, let's just say I should have let my dreams stay as memes, because the launch experience wasn't any better on PC. PC. The optimization was just straight up horrible, frame rates were bad, and that's when I was even able to get the game to start. Every crash was like rolling the dice on whether or not I had to verify the game files or not. Guys, I was so salty. I remember telling myself that this would be the last game that I will ever pre-order, which I guess hindsight, I wish I would have kept that promise. But come on guys, I was really excited for Cyberpunk 2077. I just had to pre-order it. There was no way I wouldn't. I was absolutely livid on launch. Like, No Man's Sky was the first game I had ever gotten a refund for on my PlayStation. But I was persistent. I even tried to keep playing the PC version to just kind of force the game to work. And it wasn't until late August I decided to officially request a refund for the game, which was accepted immediately by Steam. Now, the terrible launch day for No Man's Sky is attributed to a number of reasons. The first one is just how ambitious this project was for the number of active developers. No way should this game have ever released in the state it did. They really just needed more time to cook. I truly think the reason that this game was forced out was mainly due to corporate greed. I'm not going to just straight up blame Sony, but I have a feeling that they nudged Hello Games to release it in the state it was in. I mean, let's be real here. Sony was the one funding the publishing and marketing, and I'm sure that there was some stipulation that they had to get the game released in a certain time frame due to contractual obligations between Sony and Hello Games. On top of that, there is no way that No Man's Sky should have passed Sony's certifications in the state it was in the first place. So rather than wait until the game was properly ready for release, they just decided to send it. It's evident that the game wasn't ready. Either they or the developers straight up lied to us about features. Remember when No Man's Sky was supposed to have multiplayer? Well, that feature was nowhere to be seen. And in September, a month after the release, the Advertising Standards Authority of the UK launched an investigation into the marketing of No Man's Sky. However, they found no issues, saying that the statements from Sean Murray that were made outside of the promotional material weren't to be taken as a part of official advertising, and no action was taken. At this point, all hope seemed pretty much lost for No Man's Sky, and this game would live in infamy as one of the worst video game launches ever. In November 2016, Hello Games announced that they would be releasing a huge update known as the Foundation Update. They said this, and I quote, "We've been quiet, but we are listening and focusing on improving the game that our team loves and feels so passionately about." In their announcement, they didn't include a release date or timeline of this update on when it would drop, but 2 days later, it was hot dropped. This update was pretty solid. I actually rebought the game on PC just to play the update. While it was good, there were still quite a few promised features that were missing. It provided some important stability improvements, fixed the crashing issues, but it definitely wasn't in the state that we had all hoped it would be in. Cut to the second major update that released, which was named Pathfinder. This update introduced planetary vehicles, base sharing, PlayStation 4 support, ship and weapon specializations, permadeath mode, 40 new base building parts, new weapon modes, a photo mode, the discovery menu, and a bunch of other features. In August of 2017, a third major update released called Atlas Rises, or the 1.3 update. Now, this update brought a brand new and overhauled central storyline, portals, and a new procedural mission system, trade updates, system economies, and joint exploration. This update was also the 1-year anniversary of No Man's Sky. The update also added new variety and updated the visual quality of planetary biomes. They also added exotic planet types and the new terrain editing multi-tool, where you could add or remove terrain to basically terraform the landscape as you wish. The 1.3 update also brought a limited online co-op mode, where 16 players could explore the same planet in close proximity, which Hello Games said was an important first step into the world of synchronous co-op. While the Atlas Rises update was solid, it wasn't nearly enough for players. There was still something missing. In July of 2018, No Man's Sky released the No Man's Sky Next update on the PlayStation 4, PC, and on the Xbox One. Now, if you followed the post-launch updates for No Man's Sky, I'm sure you remember seeing the No Man's Sky Next trailer and thinking to yourself, this is what the game should have been at launch. This update brought a full multiplayer experience, allowing for up to 4 players to play simultaneously. It gave players the ability to join as allies and explore planets and build bases together. No Man's Sky Next also updated the game to allow bases to be built almost anywhere, including being built underwater. The update also added frigates for players to command and a major overhaul to the game's graphics and UI, and enabled a fully playable third-person mode. After the release of Next, the team dropped another content update called The Abyss. In November 2018, they released Visions, which updated the game's biomes and added more abnormal flora and fauna on certain worlds. It was really at this point that No Man's Sky was considered to be a great game, a game that had fully redeemed itself after releasing in an awful state. And at this point, you would think that the work for Hello Games was seemingly over. The redemption arc was completed, but Sean Murray and company said, nah, hold up, let us cook. Hello Games then put their head down and just kept grinding. Jump to August 14th, 2019, the next major update to No Man's Sky release, which was named Beyond, which boasted 3 key aspects, which was online, VR, and just general improvements. The online updates allowed for 32 2 players in games, this also added the Nexus, where players could meet others to group up and take on missions. The VR portion is pretty self-explanatory. It basically added VR support to the PC and the PlayStation VR versions of the game. However, the third key aspect was a slew of general improvements, basically across the board. For instance, bases have more customization features. They also added electrical grids and even programmable elements. For full automation, players could basically create small automated factories. The Beyond update also let players domesticate creatures, use them as livestock, and even as mounts. Now, after the Beyond update in November, No Man's Sky dropped the Synthesis update, which changed the game's inventory, added the ability to upgrade your starship, and added hundreds of quality of life improvements. In February of 2020, they released the Living Ship update, which brought sentient ships called the Void, which also brought new story components. In April of 2020, the team at Hello Games released the Exo Mech update that brought mech suits, mainly for hazardous environments, which were also used for traversal, resource collection, and more. Now, cut to June of 2020, they released a new patch that added crossplay. A month later, the update called Desolation was released, which added desolate ships to the procedural generation, which honestly I thought that this was a solid addition, but the streak wouldn't stop there. A few months later, in September, they dropped the Origins update, or the 3.0 update. This update dramatically expanded the universe, enabling players to explore a stranger, richer, and more varied universe with deeper planetary diversity, new dramatic terrain, and a ton of new creatures. There was also weather conditions and colossal buildings. This update was primarily for longtime players. It was essentially a universe refresh to help spice up the variety. In November, they released the Next Generation update, which also added support for the current gen consoles. In March of 2021, Hello Games released the Expeditions update, which featured set challenges and milestones for players to accomplish. The Expeditions of No Man's Sky would be received really well, but surely at this point, Hello Games was done with this game, right? Like, they can finally move on and work on something else, right? No? Okay, all right. In September of 2021, No Man's Sky dropped the Frontiers update, which was yet another major update, which added procedurally generated alien settlements, as well as the ability to manage a single settlement. The update also improved base building, overhauled the building UI, and a ton of other things. Now, following the release of this update, there was another few content drops, new expeditions like a giant worm. Now, after that, they dropped the Sentinel update, which improved the combat system. Shortly after that, they dropped the Outlaws update in April, which made the starship combat better. The Endurance update in July upgraded the base building and freighter customization. The Echoes update in August added a new robotic race to the game. And then in February of 2024, they dropped the Omega update, which gave players the ability to start expeditions with established characters, raid, and capture pirate vessels. The March 2024 update was called Orbital, which improved space stations, as well as ship customization further. Overall, the updates that followed next and beyond were super solid. The team was consistently improving No Man's Sky update after update. It got to the point where some players were wondering why Hello Games was doing everything for free, some even begging them to charge for new content, but no, not Hello Games. The work wasn't over yet. In July of 2024, No Man's Sky released the Worlds Part 1 update, which was absolutely groundbreaking. Literally, guys, this was the first major overhaul to the planet procedural generation that brought new biomes, new flora, fauna, dynamic weather events, which all looks absolutely stunning. Like, if you've played the game right now, you know how good it looks. They added improved water, which enabled waves, volumetric clouds, and it was at this point the devs were just kind of playing with their food. They cooked so hard with this update that it blew the entire gaming industry away. Worlds Part 1 also brought new expeditions called the Liquidators, which is a galactic bug hunt straight out of Helldivers, or rather Starship Troopers. The rewards included new organic armor parts, new mounted bug trophies and posters, and major updates to the game's graphics and physics like full wind simulation, dynamic water, dramatic storms, and other engine enhancements for improved visuals and increased performance. If you haven't picked up No Man's Sky at this point, you are doing yourself a disservice. The experience that is available right now is infinitely better than what it was at launch, and it's even better than what they claimed in the marketing. What's really wild to me about Worlds Part 1 is this is only the beginning. I'm sure they're going to go above and beyond with Part 2, and I look forward to playing it when it releases. I am so happy for the team at Hello Games for their hard work finally being recognized. And it's for this reason why I'm so looking forward to what they do next with Light No Fire, which is as ambitious, if not more, than No Man's Sky was at launch. No Man's Sky went from being a game that was almost memed out of existence, but because of compassion and the drive to redeem themselves, the team at Hello Games was able to make the most out of a tough situation, and it's because of this No Man's Sky is considered to be the greatest redemption in the history of video games. But even after the countless updates, it still feels like the team at Hello Games is only getting started. That's gonna wrap it up with this video. If you enjoyed it, do me a favor, drop a like, subscribe with your notifications notifications turned on so you're not missing out on any future videos. When did you start playing No Man's Sky? Did you pick it up at launch or did you recently buy it? Let me know down in the comment section, and until next time, this has been Wes, and I will talk to you guys in the next video.